Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, bringing you the good times in music, fashion, pop culture, and entertainment. We got a fantastic show for you guys today. It's going to be a lot of fun. Before I tell you about it and before we say hi to everybody, let's say hi to our cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Mr. Ron Russell.
I was very busy making out with my dog. Come here, Astro. Give me another kiss. Oh, I love that dog. Anyway, yes, here we are today. Okay, what are we going to talk about?
First, we're going to say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
So first of all, you guys, we have a great show for you today. We have coming on first is Jack O'Halloran. You guys know him from the Christopher Reeve Superman movies. He was also in Godzilla with Jessica Lange, and I don't know, a whole bunch of movies that you guys are going to just like love. Plus every TV show. He was in Dragnet, Hero and the Terror. He was in the Flintstones movie, all kinds of great movies. He's a really cool guy. I've known him for a long time. And then we have coming on ReW STaRR, who's a fabulous singer, songwriter, web show host, actress. She does it all, and she's from New York. So Ron's going to love it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Before we get started, let's say hi to the chat room. What's up? It's going very fast. I can't see it all. We have Teresa Sabin. Teresa Sabin's in Florida. Lady Lake, Cindy Lady Lake is in Florida. She says hello to Astro, hugs to Astro. Dawn Hinton, hi Dawn, how you doing? Eileen Shapiro's in the chat room. Backpack John is in the chat room. The Fisher King is in the chat room. Angela Joseph is in the chat room. Dawn wants to know what kind of watch you have on today.
Today I'm proud, very proud. Excuse me. Excuse me while I clear my throat. I've got a pubic hair in it, maybe. Anyway, not really. That's just a joke. I don't do those things. I'm not married to a woman anyway. Listen, it's an AIDS walk wristwatch, and I got it way back. My God, in the early 70s as a gift from the head general marshal, or whatever they call him, the marshal of the parade. He gave it to me for my outstanding work in raising over $150,000 for AIDS with Elizabeth Taylor of the Elizabeth Taylor Foundation for AIDS Research. So it's a wristwatch that I wear with such great pride because it means so much to me. It was hard work doing all those benefits and working in other people's benefits in drag as Jane Russell just to raise funds for AIDS. So yes, it's here. It's a very special. I don't know if you could see what it says on it. Here, wait a minute. It's upside down. Wait a minute. Let me get it right. But anyway, there it is, folks. It's a very, I very rarely wear it because I don't want it to be destroyed. Anyway, there you go.
We want to welcome the Fisher King too. Fisher King is the first time. It says he's the first time he's been able to like listen to us live, and he's from Ireland. So now we've got Ireland in the house. So what's up, Fisher King?
Erin Go Bra or Erin Go Braless. Which one? I love that. Used to go. The Irish say Erin Go Bra.
Oh, I don't know what that means.
And then we made it Erin Go Bra or Go Braless.
Oh, there you go.
Without a, he's so slow.
I don't know what that means.
Jimmy's father warned me. He said, Jimmy is a, how do you say it, Siobhan?
I'm not a savant.
What do you say it?
Savant.
A schwanz. Well, Jimmy's not a schwanz in any of that area. But anyway, what is it?
It's not a savant. I'm not a savant.
Jimmy is a savant.
I'm like everybody else. I pay attention to what I want to pay attention to. And if I'm not interested, I don't pay attention.
He's lying. He's a schwanz.
He's not.
I wish.
Everything is good, you guys. I hope everybody's having a good new year. Everything seems to be going fabulous. It's a lot of fun. And if you saw Ron's so excited. He got 300 likes on his Facebook post for our new kitchen.
Excuse me, over 300.
Over 300 likes on his Facebook post for his new.
No, for our kitchen. Don't you live here?
Yes, I live here too, and I painted. So
listen, he painted the turquoise behind the gray granite.
Absolutely. Oh, we also want to say hi, Boomer Mays, professional football player. He just joined us, and Paul from Zest Radio just joined us. Hello, hello.
Hello, Boomer. And, hello, Paul.
All is good, you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun today. Something different, something fun. The weather's beautiful here in Palm Springs. I hope you guys aren't freezing wherever you are. And
well, let me get into a little bit of politics.
No, let's not do politics.
The fuck up. The reason why we got over excuse me, my throat today.
Just keep pulling out the pubic hairs.
No, you know what it is? It's very dry in here, and we have heat on because it's cold out, and it's so dry that I have dry throat. Anyway,
So I make it
the
warmer.
reason why I
cooler?
got over 300 likes and comments is Facebook liked what I wrote, because I wrote, let's do it happy and gay and make Facebook a happy place to be. So Facebook sent it out to everybody, and everybody got it and liked it. But when I write articles that are, again, excuse me, when I write
Controversial.
articles that are controversial or my opinion, very few likes, because very few people get it. I think a lot of people are very upset with Facebook because they're not allowing freedom of speech from anyone, not just one particular person who's now been banned from Facebook and every other media. The one thing that Americans always bragged about when we had arguments with foreigners was, we have freedom of speech. We have freedom of choice. We can do what we want in our country. We could be anybody we want in our country. Well, I hope we stay that way. I hope things don't change.
So Twitter lost like $10 billion, and I think Facebook 40 billion.
Yeah, I mean,
in
it's
a couple
nonsense.
of days.
It's nonsense what's going on. I mean, it's just too much for the brain to absorb. You know, we're going to a virus that's hideous and killing everybody. We're worrying about the shot. Is it safe? Is there a long-term effect? Now they say that if you have a body part in you that's plastic or whatever, it can be destroyed because of the virus. The virus kills anything that's not native. If it's foreign to the body, it will kill it. So people with stents and pacemakers, like,
Should I have a fake knee?
Right, which
knee.
means your leg is going to blow off and you're going to have a wooden leg.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Well, then you call Peggy.
Yeah.
Peggy Leggy.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
But anyway, the media really has a ball with us. The media really tells us what they want us to believe. The media is packing the bucks in the bank. The media is outrageous. It must be not listened to. You must listen to your doctors. You must listen to people who know what they're talking about, because all this fake news, as Mr. Trump used to call it, is out there. And yes, there is a lot of fake news about everybody. About the whole Washington, about our country, about our laws. Everything is a mess. We are in a state of corruption right now, and it will ease out, because you know what? My father taught me, time will tell. You can lie for just so long, or you can deceive people for just so long, and then the truth will reveal itself.
Teresa said,
so if the new administration is not going to be the administration that people voted for in a year or two, they will then say, let's impeach Biden and start that crap all over again. And we have to sit through another nonsense, crazy crap.
And if he does what he says he's going to do, then everything could be cool.
If he does what he says he's going to do, then there's no problem. We'll have a smooth sailing, wonderful country again.
Absolutely. So, hello, Cambria Carpenter just joined us. It's nice to see you. And Teresa Sabin says, like, take olive oil, like it's good for your body.
If I put olive oil in any more places in my body, I will slide out of my car and be killed. I am so full of olive oil.
I actually, too, I had my friends anniversary. What do you call it? Like friendsversary, whatever that Facebook does when you have your friendship and you've known someone for a while on Facebook, and then they put all the pictures. And so I had my friend anniversary with Teresa Sabin the other day on Facebook, and it's very nice to know you, Teresa, and so happy to call you friend and supporter of all the things that we do. You're fabulous.
Getting back to olive oil, I use it on my face as a treatment. I use it in my hair as a treatment. I use it sometimes on body parts to keep them moist. And also, if you're going out and you're going to drink a lot, do a shot glass of extra virgin olive oil. That'll smooth the stomach so the booze really doesn't get to you. You can drink a little more without getting crushed. Olive oil, to me, is a gift from the gods. I think it's really a very special process that you should put into your body. As I said before, if I put any more olive oil into me.
Eileen says she'll tell you where to put it.
Eileen, I know, but I don't think I need to use olive oil with you. I need pool cue dust. You know, when you put the pool cue into the blue stuff so your pool cue doesn't slip on the balls. That's Eileen Shapiro, I hope.
Yes. Oh, no, no,
Oh.
that's some other
I
Eileen.
mean, if it was another Eileen, I would have had a nervous. I mean, my Eileen, I love and adore. She's my best and dearest sweet friend, and we have the best time together talking about my Wang and her Pusey. So we really have a lot of fun with it. She's a great sport, and so am I. And together, if ever we wanted to really have a show that'd be a major hit, we should do a reality show, right, Eileen? With all of us, not so much the California people because they're very reserved. They just do everything behind closed doors, 3 ways, 4 ways, all kinds of weird sex. But New Yorkers are very upfront. They do it out there in the street. They don't give a crap. So if all of my New Yorker friends with Eileen Shapiro, we had a reality show, it would be not only hilarious, but interesting, because we all talk about and say things to each other that everybody thinks, but are too frightened to say. We are outspoken people. We are hilarious people. Eileen Shapiro has a wonderful sense of smooth, quiet humor. She slips them in there every now and then. She sneaks them in. I'm bold. I blow it out my ass. I just say it like it is. Jimmy sits there chuckling and then makes an opinion. Billy Hess is totally insane like I am. He's wonderful. And a few other people that we're friends with.
We have Wendy Stewart Kaplan,
and
Wendy Tim
Stewart,
Moss,
another nut job.
Ike Avelli.
Tim Moss is out there somewhere.
And Randy Jones from the Village People.
Ike is still looking for a husband 44 years later. I mean, we're all out there. We're just a wild group of people. And when we get together, there's no bullshit about who's a Republican, who's a Democrat, who hates Trump, all that crap. We just live life. We eat, we drink, we laugh, and
have fun.
The whole evening is of up-talk laughter. It is wonderful. And yes, Eileen, I think we should shoot it and see if anybody's daring enough to put it out there.
Just our conversation sitting around.
No, it would be X. It would be XXXX. I mean, there's no question about it. It would be probably the most. Well, you know what? It's everybody in the country in the privacy of their homes. They all say it.
You gotta love it. So we want to give a shout out to Mike Wagner has shown up from the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey, Mikey,
and,
how you doing?
We love Mike Wagner. He's got a great show, and I'm not sure who the Collector Zone is, but I saw somebody. Jeff is in there. I don't know.
Oh, wait, I have to say something because Jimmy's
our
here.
Guest is here.
Jimmy had a black person contact him and say, "Please do not follow me. I dislike white people."
I was following somebody on Twitter, and they asked me not to follow them, so I was like, okay.
I thought that was hysterical. I said, "Oh my God, I've never heard a black person that was a racist so openly." I know that a lot of black people hate white people. Well, whatever they feel they did to them 500 years ago, 300 years ago when they were slaves. I know I tell my black friends that all the time. Don't hate me. I never owned you. Because if I did, my house would be very clean.
Oh, it's Jeff Dickinson's in there. I'm sorry. I knew Jeff Dickinson. Hey, what's up? So everybody, we're going to bring on our first guest. It's going to be a lot of fun. His name is Jack O'Halloran. You guys will recognize him when you see him. And I guess he's getting ready to get brought in. We'll make sure we can hear him, and then we'll get rocking and rolling. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing the best I can, whatever they'll let me get away with.
Yeah, there you
well, if you're a Republican, we don't want you on the show.
Lying.
I mean, isn't that the stupidest thing you've ever heard in your life? People that are commenting. I've got people on my Facebook page saying, "You're a Republican." They think nobody knows what I'm gay. I'm not a Republican. I'm not Democrat. They say, "What are you?" I say, "A happy gay man." But not really. I mean, how stupid could you be? People are friends for years, and suddenly they're not friends anymore because one is of a different political background.
It's terrible.
It's terrible. Anyway, if you are a Republican,
introduce him.
If you are a Republican, we will have you thrown off the air. Welcome. You work a lot, you son of a bitch. I don't.
Hang on. Let's introduce him. People
shut up.
No.
Who do you know that you get so much work that I don't?
No, hang
on. You've been hanging around the wrong people.
Yeah,
I think so. Jimmy STaRR.
No, I'm the right person, believe me. So everybody, this is Jack O'Halloran. We can hear him, so let me do an introduction. Hello, everybody. Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy STaRR Show with Juan Russell, the incredibly fabulous, talented superstar Jack O'Halloran. Hello and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's been a long time. We haven't talked.
It has been, my friend. It's been a while.
I think it's been like 10 years since you were on the show. Now I have my husband as my co-host. So let me introduce you to our cool, outrageous man about town, Mr. Ron Russell.
Hey, baby, how are you? Now the show's a hit. You notice we have 4.5 million people watching. When I wasn't on it, Jimmy had about 12 people
No,
in
Florida.
In Florida, in the Everglades. They were living in the Everglades.
That's
in the
not true. So,
listen, I don't want to go any further with this guy's interview. I need to know.
No, wait. We have to say hi to the. So hey, Jack, we have a chat room. Literally, we have like 10 countries represented in the chat room. So say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Hello, how are you?
There you go. And say hi to Teresa. She's in Florida because like she said hi Jack first. So let's say hi to Teresa. There you go. So you guys, Jack O'Halloran is a fabulous actor. He's also an author. He's got a production company. You guys will know him from all the things he's been in, but Ron wants to say something. I don't know what. And you guys are in the close to the same age group.
Well, I'm 80, and I just had one of those moments where I forgot her name, and I love and adore her, and you worked with her, and I want to ask you about her because she's probably one of our great, oh my God, the blonde that did King Kong.
Jessica Lange.
Jessica Lange. You worked with her. Give me all the dirt you got on that.
Jessie was, I remember Jessie was her first picture that she did. Jessie and I were good friends, and we are good friends. I haven't talked to her for a while, but she, you knew when she walked on the set she was going to be a star. And she was married to the dancer. What's his name? Brezhnikov.
That's a Brezhnikov, right?
Yeah, and Jessie is a class act. She's just a nice girl from Minnesota with a lot of talent, and you knew that from day one. And
I watch her work, and I sit there and I just love every second of her on the screen. She brings to the screen the character, the acting ability without being overdone, corny, or crappy. She's a natural actress.
She was great in American Horror Story.
She is a great. No, not even that. That was her lesser moment, Jimmy. She's done greater work than that.
She did a picture with Jack Nicholson that was just
my favorite.
People rolling in the aisles.
My favorite work that she did was when she did the life story of the famous actress who went insane. Oh my God, what was her name?
Oh yeah, no. I remember when she did the picture
from the 40s. Her performance was natural. She's breathtaking. So if you're such good friends with her, give her a buzz. Tell her that Ron Russell would love to have her on this show. No, seriously. That's how I do things. I don't go through managers or agents because they ruin everything. More managers have ruined more careers. And Betty Davis told me that in person. I knew Betty well. And Betty said the worst thing in our business are agents and managers. They ruin everything. You never get to
I don't disagree with that at all.
No, she said the movies you're supposed to do to get awards, you don't. They give you the movies that stink. So that was Betty. Betty said she had different, if Warner Brothers and Jack Warner wasn't such an egomaniac, and if he would have let Betty get the directors she wanted, which is nobody because Betty directed herself, as she told me, and if she could get the film, the script that she wanted, she could have won more Academy. I got to get this right. She said, Ron, I could have won more Academy Awards than Katharine Hepburn. And she could, and she would have.
So hold on.
Great actors. She was a brilliant actress.
Betty was
fabulous. But you got to understand, she was in an era when women didn't have that much of a say. There was more as I say and don't do as I do.
She did.
But she did. No, she took the bull by the horns. She was
She told me one time, she said to a director on the stage, she said, listen to me. You are a director. I am an actress. I am better than you. I will not listen to you. You will do as I say because I will bring out in you the best work that you've ever done. And she's going on. She was drinking. I loved it. She would take a glass of scotch with a cigarette. She would smoke while she was drinking. It was like a circus act. I have never in my life seen anybody blow smoke out while they're drinking scotch. She was an amazing woman. I loved and adored her.
So hold on.
Okay,
hold on. Two things. First of all, Jack, Ron used to have a TV show called Set the Record Straight where he interviewed all the legends of Hollywood. So he's like a TCM, superstar. He knows like all of them. And he was best friends with Jane Russell.
My dearest buddy in the world.
Oh, nice lady.
So,
lovely. Jane was, we hung out.
And now for in our audience, we have a very large over 50-year-old audience. But for the younger people that are in the audience, I'm going to do a little bragging for you, and that way we can go back and talk about some of it. So you
Just
guys
say he's been in everything there is.
No, here's some of the cool things, you guys, that you'll have seen Jack O'Halloran in. Besides the TV shows, he was in Farewell, My Lovely with Robert Mitchum, Charlotte Rampling, Harry Dean Stanton, John Ireland, and Sylvester Stallone. There's more. The 1976 King Kong with Jeff Bridges and Charles Grodin and Jessica Lange and John Randolph. March or Die with Gene Hackman, Catherine Deneuve, Terrence Hill, Ian Holm, Max von Sydow. Obviously, everybody knows him from Superman movies where he played Non. That's Marlon Brando, Gene Hackman, Christopher Reeve, Ned Beatty, Jackie Cooper, Glenn Ford, Margot Kidder, Sarah Douglas, Terrence Stamp, Susanna York, Valerie Perrine, The Baltimore Bullet with James Coburn, Omar Sharif, Bruce Boxleiter, and Peter Jason. Dragnet, we got with Dan Aykroyd, Tom Hanks, Christopher Plummer, Harry Morgan, Dabney Coleman, and Alexander Paul. And I put her in there because she's been on our show, actually. The Hero and the Tarot, which is a great Chuck Norris movie. Mob Boss with William Hickey, Eddie Deason, who's been on our show. Erwin Keyes was on our show. Morgan Fairchild and Brink Stevens, who's been on our show. The Flintstones, which has a great cast. John Goodman, Rick Moranis, Rosie O'Donnell, Elizabeth Perkins, Elizabeth Taylor, Halle Berry, Kyle MacLachlan, Jonathan Winters, Harry Corman, Fred Schneider, who was on our Christmas show, Jay Leno, Sam Raimi, Fury and the Fist and the Golden Fleece, Richard Grieco, Ernie Reyes Jr. They've both been on our show. That's why I brought it up. Sean Whalen's been on our show. Jeremy London was just on our show, and Tiny Lister was on our show. So those are some of his credits, you guys. And in TV, you saw him in Cannon, Flying High, Best of the West, Hunter, Knight Rider, Murder, She Wrote, Perry Mason, The Case of the Defiant Daughter of the Movie, Morton and Hayes, Diagnosis Murder. So basically, like, he's like shit. He's been like all over the place.
You are so easily to be hated. I mean, you worked with a few of my idols as well as friends of mine. There's many of those people that were mentioned that I know pretty well.
Did you know Mitchum?
Who?
Robert Mitchum.
Did you ever meet Robert Mitchum?
Robert Mitchum came before me. Jane Russell and Bob were best friends.
Oh, he told me she had the best body in Hollywood.
Well, no, he was married, and Jane respected his wife being a Christian. They never fooled around. Neither did Jane. No, and Jane never banged Howard Hughes. She never banged Howard Hughes either. That bullshit about Jane Russell and banging Howard Hughes is fake. She said Howard Hughes liked little tiny girls. Jane Russell, as you know, was a big woman.
Yeah, it was a big girl. Yeah.
Big broad. Bob Mitchum passed away before I got to meet him. But Jane revered him. She loved him.
Robert was one of the most well-read men I ever met in my life. And it was it was such a, I blame my whole career on Mitchum. Mitchum, when I did Farewell, My Love, it was the first film I ever did. I never been before a camera before. They came to me to do several movies. I kept turning them down. And when I did a screen test for Farewell, My Lovely, and Mitchum said, it's either him or I don't do the movie. And he started me from day one. We became like father and son. He was, if you ever had to have a mentor in the industry, Mitchum was the guy to have. I mean, he was just brilliant.
Everyone that knew him said good things about him, but Jane loved him in particular. But the thing that Jane used to brag to me about was she'd say, you know, Ron, Mitchum, big, tall guy, right? Big, tough guy. I drink him under the table. And she did. And she did. And Mitchum could knock him back. He was not shy. He was not shy to booze. Neither was Jane. But Jane would drink Mitch under the table. It's amazing. I had a lot of stories that she gave me about Mitch. And I'm so sorry that I never met him because I think we would have got along fine. He had a dirty mouth and he was very upfront. He liked to tell it as it was.
He did.
And that's me. You know, he and I would have been very honest with each other.
We should also mention, because you said he's a big guy.
Wait a minute. Wait. The movie that you were in is one of my favorites, by the way. Farewell, My Lovely.
Oh, it's
a good film. Anybody out there, get it. You can get it on YouTube, I think, or something. It's really a good film. I mean, it's one of the black and white noir films of years ago. That's a terrific film.
So you guys too, like Jack is 6'6", you guys. He was a heavyweight boxing contender in the 60s and 70s, and that's why, like in the Superman movies, he's like the bad guy, and in Hero and the Terror, he's the terror. And so like you're a huge guy, and that didn't really like affect you, because nowadays they say people that are really tall have a lot harder time getting roles, but back then,
because the camera people don't want to come in on the tall guy with the short guy. It's a big work, so they don't want to do it. They want to get everything. They want everything for free. Screw that comment. I'm going to ask you another question that our viewers must hear about. Probably one of the most magnificently beautiful women in the world, Catherine Deneuve.
Oh, Catherine and I are very close. Catherine was amazing. We did March or Die together. Hey, before I went down to do the film, Burt Reynolds grabbed me and he said, "Jack, be very careful. Catherine Deneuve's a man-eater." I said, "Okay."
Yeah, but I knew Burt Reynolds very well. Burt and I were good friends for many years because Lee Winkler of Global Enterprises was his business manager. And Burt used to go up to his house all the time up at Shaw Place in Beverly Hills. Yeah. And Burt used to bang everything that walked. But
everything that walked.
No, but I don't think that Burt got Catherine. He never commented about anything about her except that I used to say to him, like, what was it working?
Oh, no, he did. No, that's not true.
He did bang her? Well, then he was nice. He was nice about it because he did. I mean, he said everybody else he banged half of Hollywood. I mean, you know, so why would
Catherine and I became really good because when she first come on the set, she couldn't wait to meet me because Farewell was such a huge picture in France. It was big. It was a big picture, and she couldn't wait to meet me. And she came up and I kept putting her off. And she finally said to the director, "If he doesn't talk to me, I'm leaving."
So, I mean, you got to be out of your mind. I mean,
listen, I was sitting having lunch with Gene Hackman one day, and she sat down beside me, and she said, "Do you have a match, darling?" And I said, "Yeah." And I lit her a cigarette, and I turned back to talk to Hackman. And so her and I broke the ice, and we became very, very close. Catherine was one of the most beautiful women you'd ever meet in your life.
Magnificently beautiful.
I mean, I'll tell you a funny story. I was in New York. We had a break on March or Die. Gene Hackman fell off a horse, so it was snowing, and it was around Christmas time. And I went to New York to take care of some business. And I'm in the hotel, and I'm in the elevator. I come out of the snow, and I get in. And there's a woman with a babushka around her head, and she's behind me. And she said, "Jacques." She was in there doing Chanel No. 5 commercials, and we got lost in the hotel for 3 days. People couldn't find us.
Oh, well, that's saying something, you pig. But anyway, you know, if she said to me, "Do you have a match?" I would have said, "Yeah, my lips and your tits." But, you know, then I would have got smacked in the face. So
Catherine's one of the most, when I tell you a gorgeous woman, just the epitome of a lady. She really,
you know, she passed away not too long ago, and at her age that she was still a stunningly beautiful older woman. Gorgeous, just like Verna Lisi, who passed away recently. You know who she was, the Italian beauty. She was gorgeous as an older woman, just like Jane.
Sophie Loren's the same way.
No. Sophia has crashed. No. I made a movie with Sophia in 1959 called That Kind of Woman, and she was 26 and I was 19. And to see Sophia Loren at 26 years old and working in a film with her and being in scenes of hers was amazing because she was photogenic. I mean, no matter where the camera went, she was beautiful. Now I just saw the film that's on wherever. Netflix, and my God, she's aged.
But they made her look older.
No, she's not. She's Italian. They don't believe in facelifts and Botox and fillers. They'd say nature made me old and I'm beautiful.
I don't know. I saw her about 2 years ago, and she looked okay to me. I mean, I've known her for a lot of years. She's a wonderful woman. She's a really nice person.
I loved her. You know, the first couple of days on the set, we shot in Long Beach, Long Island. It was supposed to be Florida. And they said to us, "Do not disturb the stars. You must stay away from Sophia, Tab Hunter, Barbara Nichols, and George Sanders." And I said, "Yeah, right. in your next life, Buster. So I was crazy. Oh, I was crazy about Sophia Loren. I painted her on behind my bed on the wall.
He kissed. He didn't wash
Wait,
his
shut
cheek.
your mouth. I'm telling the story.
We got on really well because my heritage, I'm actually Italian. And
Sure you are. Of course you are. That's why you're wonderful. But listen, I'm Italian too. So wait. So I went and sat next to her, and one of the military guards, you know, the Hitler's people, they came over. They said, "You cannot be the." And Sophia said, because I said to Sophia, I spoke to her in Italian, and she said to me, "Your Italian is as bad as my English." So we got along really good. And she said, "You let him sit." I was sitting in George Sanders' chair, by the way. She said, "Let him sit here for a few minutes until I have to go." And the guy said, "Yes, Miss Lauren." And she turned around and she said, "You know, I don't understand why they do that." She said, "I remember when I was starting off in movies, if they spoke to me that way, I would have never gone on in film." I said to Sophia, "Me frego me." I said, "I don't give a fuck." Me frego. Me frego is a polite way of saying, you know, I don't give a shit. Anyway, we shot in Central Park, and I was hugging her. Anyway, we're finished with it, and I said, "Sophia, I'm so sorry to leave you because I really love you," in Italian. And she said, "Vieni qui, come here. Dammi uno bacio." And I kissed, and she kissed me right on my cheek. Well, when I got home, I ran to my Aunt Millie's house because my mother was there screaming, "Look at the lipstick. I'm never taking it off. Sophia Loren kissed me on my cheek." I was 19 years old, but the best part was I was gay. So what was my story? I mean, I never understood me. I still don't. But anyway, yes, Sophia Loren was a lovely, polite, kind, sweet, soft woman. And
Yeah,
lucky you that you know her.
She's a super lady. She really is. Because, like I said, because of my heritage and where I come from, and you know, she was from Naples, and she came up very tough. She had a tough life when she was younger until she met Conte. You know,
absolutely.
He made a star out of her and changed her life around. But she came up through the streets of Naples.
She never knew her father. Her mother was a woman that got laid before you were allowed to. In those days, you were a putana.
My father was a man called Albert Anastasia from New York.
Anastasia?
He ran a little company called Murder Incorporated. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
No. He has a book about it.
The real honest. Listen, I'm from Brooklyn. I know every.
Albert Anastasia is my father. My father was Brooklyn. My father was New York.
Are you? You know what? Where do you live?
I live in Redondo Beach, California.
Well, we're going to get together for dinner or a lunch. I've got to talk to you. I'm serious. I'm not kidding. I want to know you. You are an amazing guy. Listen, I was raised in Brooklyn, Red Hook, hello. And I went to school, and I grew up with many names that I would never even say.
Well, I was when my father was assassinated in '57. I was taken.
I can't even breathe anymore from this interview.
I knew this. I told you.
What? You didn't tell me. You're full of shit. You never told me.
Anyway,
he's the fucking.
That's why
liar.
you guys. His Twitter is M Anastasia.
Oh
so
my God!
But hang on, I don't want to talk about that yet.
Shut up. This man is in. We need a 4-hour show of just him.
He has a book.
Your father was on a stage. Oh my!
He has a book called Family Legacy, you guys, and even though it's part fictional, it's a very, very, very good book. And did you ever make it into a movie?
We're getting ready to do I'm publishing 2 books this month, and we're going to do a mini series because we're adding also Charlie Luciano's son is a friend of mine, and we have his father's book, The Last Testament of Charles Luciano. Because Luciano and my father were partners, so they, we're putting a lot. We're going to tell a lot of truth and straighten a lot of things out.
Just leave my cousin Bertha and her husband Louis out, please, with the dirt scam that everybody went to jail. But anyway, you have got to be. I have interviewed major celebrities, major people, and I've interviewed over 4,000 people in my career.
About 1,200.
About 1,200.
He's not good with numbers.
Well, whatever. It feels like 4,000. And you are somebody that I'm trying to bring back my show, Set the Record Straight, which was a hit show. a TV show where I ask my stars, if you have anything in your life that was said about you that's not true, now set the record straight. We are thinking about shooting it again, and I would love for you to be one of our guests on that show. I think you are probably one of the most fascinating people I will ever. You and Sue Wong is another one. I got Sue Wong as a dear friend. But you are fascinating. I can't believe
Well, because of my dad, when I did Farewell, I had just came off the streets, and Mitchum arranged for me to meet Johnny Carson at the Polo Lounge because he thought that I should get nominated for supporting actor for Farewell, My Lovely. And I met Johnny Carson, and he was with Ed McMahon, and I knew Ed McMahon from Philadelphia. He was a general in the reserve army or something. So we used to buy army surplus from him, tanks and shit like that, sell in different countries. When I was a kid, we hustled everything. And he said, "You can't tell Johnny about that. It's just kind of like you don't know each other." So we sat down, and Johnny Carson said to me, "If you do my show, I will get you nominated for supporting actor." And I said, I looked at him and I thought about it. I said, "But your show is live, isn't it?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I think I have to decline." He said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Well, I'll come on your show. You're going to ask me about my father, and I'm going to ask you where the men's room's at." He said, "You would get up and leave?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Because I don't talk about my father. I don't want anybody else talking about him." And, so he said, "Well, we'll give you a list of questions that we'll ask." And I said, "John, no disrespect, but you're the biggest news reporter in Hollywood. And you have Albert Anastasia's son on your set. And I know Mitchum has filled your ears with my father's stories. You're going to ask me about him." And he said, and I said, and I just don't talk about him. And so I didn't do the show. Mitchum called me the next day. He said, "Are you out of your mind?" He said, "Jack," he said, "Hollywood loves that kind of shit. They eat that up." And I said, "Well, Robert, I'm just not ready to come out and blow my horn about, it's still the FBI looking over my shoulder,
But what Hollywood loves about it is the bullshit mafia stuff. They don't listen. They want me to write a book. I've been putting it off. You know why? 50 fucking first years of my life I can't write because I can't use names.
Well, I can. See, I did. I wrote
I won't because so many of my friends are still alive that I grew up with.
I'll tell you a funny story. You'll love this. You'll love this story. When I first wrote the book, I had a man that used to watch my back. He was an NSA CIA guy. And Robert Booth Nichols, I loved him. He was so when I first wrote the book, the government said, they weren't going to, if I wrote the book nonfiction, they were not going to let me publish it in America. So they made a meeting in Hawaii. I went to see the FBI, CIA, the NSA, and we sat down and they said, you can't do this and you can't say that. And I said, "Well, let me ask you a question." I said, "I have this little clip of film that somebody gave me as a get out of jail free card. And it's of J. Edgar Hoover copulating a man. Maybe I should put that viral on the internet."
Yeah.
He said, "You have what?" I said, "I've got a piece of footage of Hoover at a party, and they went bananas. So we made a deal. We made a deal that I would do a little bit fiction and the rest truth. And they said, "That's okay," because we just like to confuse people.
I love it.
In defense of my friends, with no name, but a very, very VIP man. I was at his house and he was dancing ballet with his grandchildren. If anybody ever saw that, they wouldn't believe that who he was and what power he had. I point out to many people, I say, organized crime does not kill innocent people.
That's correct.
They kill people who squeal, betray, cheat, steal, and lie.
Absolutely correct.
When you go into this organization as a member, like they do in the government, I mean, Washington is far more corrupt than Brooklyn, as we now know through the media. When you go into this organization and you do a blood ceremony, you swear that you will never, never do anything that would cause pain. Well, when you do, are you a maid?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to ask you, but I was never made because I was gay, so I was not allowed to be made. I was a fairy.
Well, you must remember, you're from Brooklyn. You remember 1939 when my father handed Louis Lipke to Hoover. He walked right across the street. Walter Winchell brokered the deal. They had to turn.
Well, I wasn't born
He
yet.
had to turn himself
No,
in.
I was born in 1940. That's way before my time. But no, I know my friends.
Wait a minute. You were born in 1940.
I'm 80 years old.
Okay.
So I go back 80 years ago, and the people that I grew up with or knew or socialized with and family members who were connected are mostly all gone now.
Jackson the same age, almost in the same age bracket. Your age is in a
77.
secret. Yeah, because it's on your IMDb, so I know it's not a secret.
We all know the same people. My last name is not Russell. That's my stage name, just as you changed your name. So who cares? Anyway, bad guys sometimes wear collars like priests, and they molest children. So bad guys come in all kinds of uniforms. So don't judge an Italian from Brooklyn who says, yeah, forget about it, and say we're bad people.
So
because wait a minute, shut up before I put this mic right up your ass. You can talk. I just got to finish because I'm pissed off now. So all of you out there who think because you know a variety of people that you're low life, you're a low life.
So wait, I have a question then. Okay, so you guys, Jack's book, which by the way, I Googled it, it's available. You can get it on Amazon and eBay and all kinds of places. It's called Family Legacy. And so when I had you on, when you wrote the book, and I read the book before you came on our show the last time,
yeah,
like you told me, it was like a story about your family, but then I saw it was in the fiction category. So then I thought, oh, so it's not really so. So how true is the book?
80%.
Okay. You guys, it's a fascinating book. It's really, really good. Like I always thought.
Are you cheap?
Say what?
Are you a cheapskate? Are you a cheap guy?
No.
Good. Then send me a book for free and autograph it. That's one book. That's one book I want to read.
Oh, he'll definitely
I get millions
the guy
of books.
next to you has a copy of it.
I don't know
You
where
have a copy?
I don't know where the book. I've moved 4 times since then.
Get me that book.
I have
Jimmy.
to look in my
I have
book.
to read
I'll tell you
it.
what I'll do. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you. I have your email address. I'm going to send you the manuscript, which is better than the published book.
Oh yeah,
Send you the original manuscript.
That's perfect.
Don't you want to keep that? That's going to be worth something.
I was going to email it to me.
I'll send you a copy of it.
Okay, good. Because how well did that book do? Because it's got to be
very well. It wasn't published exactly the way it should have been, but what we're going to do now is we're going to republish it in another version and redo another book behind it, and we're going to start telling. The first book that I wrote is from my father's death to Kennedy's death, and I tell the truth about the Kennedy assassination.
Good.
And,
of course, I know about that. My father was a Union delegate. And my father knew your father. My father knew Schoenfeld. My father knew everybody from the Painters Decorator Union. My father, I remember saying to me, listen, you hear a name in this house, you never go in the street and tell it. So I'd say, why? I'd say, why? He said, don't ask a question, just listen. Yeah. Whatever you hear in this house never goes in the street.
And he doesn't because of that, he doesn't remember anybody. He can meet somebody and 5 minutes later, he doesn't know that he knows who their face, but he doesn't know their name because he doesn't remember names because he was told not to remember names.
I got to tell you something. That's not far from true because I never remember when I beat a lie detector test because I would never let myself remember names.
Yeah,
you weren't allowed to.
If they asked me a question, I was very honest. I don't remember that guy.
I mean, I used to go to weddings and christenings and stuff in Brooklyn, and it read like the who's who. And you know what the funny part was? Everybody was sitting around the room, and then their bodyguards were all up against the wall. And it was an amazing wedding. I mean, they spent fortunes of money on it, and it was fun and laughter and beautiful brides and grooms. They were great times. I never saw the downside of any kind of organized crime. I don't want to say organized crime because that describes Washington right now. So I don't want. Well, you know what? Let me tell you the truth. If you want to use the word mafia, which I don't like to use because there's no such thing, right? They run Washington, or they used to run Washington.
Well, they did.
Yeah, and if you talk about the Kennedys, I know why they knocked them off. So, and I also know.
Oh, that's in his book.
And I
that's
also
I remember that in the book.
And I also know where what's his name's body is.
Now I have to read it all over.
Oh, Jimmy.
Jimmy Hoffa.
I know where it's at.
My father said, like, I don't remember where exactly, but his head's in Staten Island, his arm is in New Jersey.
That's not true. That's not true.
He knows really where
that
it is.
all his body parts are all in every borough in New York.
That's not true.
Not true. My father.
Jimmy was a dear friend. I love Jimmy. Jimmy was a man's man. He would never ask you to do what he couldn't do himself.
Right.
And what they put him in jail for was such bull because they accused him of stealing $10,000 from the pension fund. There was no pension fund until Hoffa put it there. And Jimmy wanted to get something done at his house, a renovation. People would have lined up to do it for nothing. People loved Hoffa. Hoffa was a loved guy.
My father knew him because they were all, the unions. But
Jimmy made a bad mistake. One phone call caused his demise, and that was sad because he made a bad mistake when he went in. He thought he was only going in for 90 days, and I don't remember if you remember when Hoffa went away, the truckers lined up all the way to Lewisburg, beeping their horns as he went by, and we were talking to him on the phone from Boston, and the gentleman from there said, Jimmy, you don't have to go to jail. Every Teamster in the country will walk off his job, which would have paralyzed America.
Absolutely.
And Jimmy said, if I did the crime, I'll do the time. And because he thought he was walking in and walking out, but he backed the wrong president. And they kept him, and the deal that he made to come home was not a great deal. And, and when he came home, he walked right in his office, and he signed documents that he wouldn't touch the union for X a period of time. And he walked right in the office and told Fitzsimmons, get out of my chair. And they said, Jimmy, you can't be here. You'll get us all in trouble. He said, this is my union. I'm taking it back. Get out of my chair. And he got on the phone, and he made a phone call to New York. And they had a very heated discussion. And they kept telling him, just calm down. You're on the phone. Just wait a little bit. We'll sort everything out. I don't want to hear that shit. And they talked about the pension fund and how much money was lent for Caesar's Palace and everything. And he kept talking. And the guy kept telling him, Jimmy, you're on the phone. Just calm down. And then Hoffa said one thing that he should never have said. I will go to the press. And the guy hung the phone up, and that was the end of Hoffa.
Well, that's why they knocked off Marilyn Monroe, because she said she was going to the press.
Well, Marilyn, a lot of people have a fictitious about Marilyn was such a wonderful, in her own right, a wonderful woman. But she slept with Jack Kennedy, but she fell in love with Bobby. And when she got knocked up, she tried to call him to tell him she would get rid of it like she did the other 11 kids. And he turned her off. He shut her down. And she started drinking and popping pills, and she talked. What she did, though, she kept a diary. They all wanted her diary. They were scared to death of her diary. And when Sam Giancana took her to Cal Navo for the weekend, and she just blabbered, and they said, she's got to die. That's, she's just
loose cannon. Loose cannon. She's a loose cannon.
They put a suppository in her, but Bobby and Peter Lawford were sitting at her bedside right before she died.
Right.
But the diary was taken away before anybody could get into the house. Somebody took the diary, and it's in Europe, and it will come out one day.
Right. Jane Russell told me about a lot of stuff about Marilyn. And Jane Russell, when I asked her, she said, yes, Marilyn Monroe was murdered by the Kennedy Mafia, she called them.
Well, it was because of them, but she was murdered by, and I won't say, I know the doctor that they put a suppository in her, and that's what killed her. And she was dead when they took her body out of the house to the hospital, supposedly rushing her to the hospital. She was already dead.
Of course,
they just wanted the house empty to go in and clean it, and they did what they got. Then Giancana had a sergeant guy who was in the police force that went in looking for the diary, and it was already gone. And it was taken to Europe by Hoover's partner, and because they didn't want the diary to come out because it would have hurt Hoover and a lot of other people. So,
well, a week or so before she was murdered, she told the cabbie that picked her up and took her to the set a lot of stuff. And the cabbie went and blabbed it all over the place, what Marilyn had said. It got
she
back.
was stoned out of her brains. That's what she was talking
Well,
to everybody.
the cabbie got it. Suddenly his cab went off the Hollywood Hills and he was killed, which was very coincidental because he was repeating to the world everything that Marilyn had said. You know, this is a fascinating show. If no one watches this show, they're going to be so sorry because we've had great shows, but this is probably the #1 greatest show I've ever had. You are probably the #1 greatest person I have ever interviewed. I am so happy that this is happening. You are phenomenal. You're open, you're honest, you tell it like it is, the way we all should be. Now, what was it like being Dad's son?
I didn't until I was 14. I never really. I knew that something was up because I had a minder around me, a guy called Rip Collins, who was Michael Collins's cousin. But Rip was an engineer at General Electric, and he was the head of the IRA at the waterfront because that's how come he knew my father so well. And he was a friend of my mother's. And my father in 1942 was in the Army teaching soldiers how to be longshoremen. He was a sergeant, and he was at Indian Gap, Pennsylvania, but he never spent a night there. He was in Philadelphia every night. My mother made Jane Russell look like a boy, and she and Albert got together, and I was a product of it. And in 1943, I was born. And,
okay, now I think what I think we should do is I think you should tell our viewers exactly who your father was. Not too many people today know who he is, younger people. So,
Albert Anastasia. Albert was an amazing individual. He was he was he was the guy that said that that people said, well, if you're a made individual, if you're in the family and you make a mistake, and they say, well, you got to give the guy a second chance. And Albert said, if I give him a second chance, then he's going to think my kindness is a weakness, and 10 years down the street, he'll rat on me. He'll become a rat.
He's right.
So he killed, they anybody who, if you knew the rules when you came in, if you broke a rule, you deserved to die. That's all there was to it. And if you didn't like that, then don't get involved.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, let me say one thing else about organized crime. People think that organized crime was drugs and prostitutes and whatever. No, it was more than that because it was banking, it was stock market, it was all over the place.
People don't understand is that when they first started, all the illicit monies they made, they put back into the growth of a country because their income came from loan sharking, gambling, extortion. So if you didn't have money, how could you pay them? So they made sure you went to work. My father ran the waterfront. His brother Tony was the official guy down there. Albert put the fear of God in people, so Tony ran it very well. And they created jobs for people. They took money and they reinvested it back into the country. They invested in insurance companies. They invested in General Electric, Westinghouse, Sears and Roebuck. They started a lot of companies. They wanted to create an economy that they could all earn from. In the beginning, you had government, industry, organized crime, and unions were all partners for a lot of years, all the way up to the Kennedy Act.
Well, who do you think put Kennedy in office?
Well, there's a good story right there. Joe Kennedy, I don't know how much you know about Joe Kennedy.
I know a lot about Joe Kennedy.
Joe Kennedy was a brilliant, brilliant banker, the youngest banker, president of a bank in the history of the country. His father-in-law was a powerhouse. He was a gangster from Ireland who came to Boston, started the first Boston Bank. He was a senator there. He was a powerful guy. And he married Rose Fitzgerald. He married Honey Fitzgerald's daughter. And then Joe became a bootlegger with a guy from Newark, New Jersey. He had Fleischmann's Liquor. They had a warehouse up in Canada. And this was in the 1920s. And they were bringing booze because his father-in-law controlled all the scotch and liquor out of Scotland and Ireland. And they brought it in through the Boston Harbor, took it up into Canada, and they were bootlegging it down into America. And He took a load of booze that belonged to the Purple Gang. He hijacked it. And the Purple Gang said, you know what, son, you're a dead man. He ran home to Honey Fitzgerald. He said, my God, I don't know, what am I going to do? He said, I can't help you. You're talking about a very serious group of gentlemen. And he said, there's only one guy that can help you. He's in Chicago. And he went to Chicago and sat down with the first Don there, and they made a deal. He said, you know, you're a really bright guy, kind of like you a lot. You go back to Boston, I'll take care of the Purple Gang, but you belong to us now. And he was under thumb from that day with Chicago. The only money Joe Kennedy ever put into a building in America is the Mercantile Building, downtown Chicago. They made him put up the money for that building. And then in 1926, he was a very bright guy. They sent him to Hollywood because they controlled the cinematographer union, and they controlled Hollywood. And they sent him out, and they introduced him to Randolph Hearst. They introduced him to, if you looked under the paperwork for RKO Studios, Joe Kennedy's the one that put the distribution deal together with all the Jewish theater owners. They put the first distribution deal together. And he banged everybody in Hollywood. Every woman that walked down the street.
It's true. And Hedy Lamarr and Marlene Dietrich, you know.
Yeah, he was very
his favorite.
Exactly. And so he turned around, and in 26, they in Chicago, they had a place called the Hamilton Club, which was the stronghold for political people. And they sat him down one day and they said, here, we want you to do something for us. Because America, after World War I, became a war-bearing country. And we started manufacturing war goods. We were taking jobs away from Europe. Europe invested in America. Only $1 million came from America in the original banking system. The rest came from Geneva through London. $10–12 million, they started our banking system. And they felt they weren't getting enough money back for their buck. So they started complaining. So the people at the Hamilton Club grabbed Kennedy and they said, we want you to do something for us. He created the short sell in 1927, and it ran through to 1920, right on the brink of 29. And they were very successful. They made a tremendous amount of money, but they aimed it at 30 companies in Europe. One of them being a Rothschild company that was owned by Blackjack Bouvier, Jackie Kennedy's father, and his father and uncle. And they bankrupted, and her father became a drunk and died. Her mother swore she would get her money back from the Kennedys. And she married another Wall Street guy, and she raised her children up into society and all that shit. And she groomed her daughter to marry Jack Kennedy. And Joe Kennedy, at the end of 29, the crash happened because they did the short sell, and then they stopped for a couple of days. They were coming back, but the country panicked because the market was going up and down so much. And the crash happened. So after the crash was over, they said to Joe Kennedy, did a great job, kid. Now we're going to rewrite the laws of the SEC, so you're going to be the head of the SEC. And in 1935, when he finished all that, they said, great job again. Now we're going to make you ambassador to England. And he became Ambassador Joe Kennedy. He went to England, and before he went, Chicago grabbed him and said, listen, there's some dear friends of ours we want you to get involved with in Europe. And the first guy he sat down with was the Shah of Iran, who was a gangster. They put a bank together. They lent money to Hitler. America wasn't in the war yet. The money that they lent to Hitler came back to them for weapons. They added Khashoggi to the mix. And then England turned around and said to Joe Kennedy, you're lending money to our enemy. You can't do this. And they threw him out of England. Nobody ever knew why he was thrown out of England. He came home as Ambassador Joe Kennedy because the Gore family owned the newspapers on the East Coast. They were from Indiana. And Randolph Hearst controlled the West Coast. And there was no television then. And the radios were controlled by the Murchison family out of Texas. People don't realize that the wealthiest guy in the world at the time was Clint Murchison Sr. When they built the Long Island Railroad, he put the money up, not Rockefeller. You understand? So a lot of people don't know the history of certain things, but Joe Kennedy, when he wanted his son to be president, the first son was supposed to be president, Joe Sr., who was a great pilot. And what they did was he was 10 days because he was out of the service. Germany was big headache. So they devised a plane that was going to fly into the munition factory and blow it all up and end the war. And they wanted him to test pilot the plane. And they talked him into doing it. The plane went up, it blew up, he died. The week later, they scrapped the whole thing. The first son's dead. You understand?
Yeah.
Then
Well,
Jack Kennedy was going to run.
That was suspicious.
Then Jack Kennedy was running for president. He went to Chicago. Sam Giancana put out some deals, and Joe Kennedy said, "I've got all the electoral votes. He'll get nominated." Well, he was in California the second day he was there. He called Giancana on the phone. He said, "We got a problem." And he said, "You had all the electoral." They said, No, we're short this and that." So they helped them. Chicago, Illinois, and 2 states for the very first time went Democrat and put up their electoral votes. The third day, Joe Kennedy called him back. He said, "We still have a problem. There was only 1 state with enough electoral votes to put him across the finish line, and that was West Virginia." So they called Bobby Cellini, the Cellini family. Dino Cellini had all the casinos in West Virginia because of the coal mines and everything, a lot of money. They called up and they said, "You know what? We need West Virginia." They said, "No problem." They called some people. They excused some debt. And people raised their hand, and West Virginia gave the electoral votes to Kennedy. He got nominated. And when he got nominated, H.L. Hunt went out to California with a bag full of money and gave it to Joe Kennedy for Johnson to run for vice president. And once Jack got elected, which was a close race, and people in Chicago and New York weren't too happy about it because they already owned Nixon. What they need Kennedy for? And Giancana talked him into it. "Oh, it's he's great, both his ears, blah, 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 blah." As soon as he became president, his father turned around and whispered in his ear. And because the first question they asked is, "What are you going to do with that little asshole Bobby?" Because he was already a thorn in their side. And Joe Kennedy said, "Oh, we're going to make him ambassador to Ireland. We'll get him out of the country." Well, what he did was he told Jack, "Make your brother attorney general." And then he went to Bobby and he said, "Put all my good friends in jail." And then he went to Jack and he said, "You see all those oil guys down there in Texas? They're making a fortune on a product that you're not taxing called surplus oil." And Jack installed a tax on surplus oil that cost them people $200 to $300 million a year. You think that didn't anger somebody?
Absolutely.
Well, you see, there was corruption back then. There's corruption now. I mean, nobody really believes anymore in the vote. We believe that politics control the vote.
Well, when Kennedy was running, it was a neck and neck race, right? I know for a fact there were people in Chicago and the suburbs of Illinois that were dead people that voted 20 times.
That happened this time too.
It happened now. We have been made fools of for a couple of many decades. I could remember my father and mother being very upset and telling me stories about Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who was supposedly the idol of the world. And when 6 million Jews in Europe were being murdered, put in ovens, they wanted to come to America. And Roosevelt said, "Oh no, we can't have all those Jews coming here because they'll run the stock market." So our wonderful Franklin Delano Roosevelt is the reason for many children and elderly people and beautiful Jewish people that were murdered. So our presidents are not always in our favor, but yet they will say the mafia is this and the mafia is that. Well,
how about when they all went to bed thinking Dewey was president and woke up to Truman?
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? So stop it, everybody. Stop judging until you know the facts and get the real facts, not the fake facts.
So hang on a second.
I lived through all that, so I know.
Let me tell you something. We can't. You're coming back.
Yeah, we have to have you come back.
Oh no, you're coming back.
Ron's never been so quiet on a show. Everybody in the channel.
You know, I'm the humor. I'm the joke. I'm a stand-up comic. So I'm the comic on the show, and I always play around. I am so fucking mesmerized by what you say because I've heard it before from my family, and it's true. And
We have a,
and you got the balls to come out and talk about it, which is wonderful, because people today are so fucking afraid of themselves. They're afraid to say they're a Republican because they get their car smashed. So you know what
we're
I mean?
not letting you go yet. I have all these fans of yours in the chat room. I have this one guy has asked this question. I don't know why he wants to know this, but he's asked it 60 times. He wants to know what. First of all, this is Jeff from the Collector Zone, which is he's a really cool guy. He wants to know what's your favorite piece of music.
Oh, who gives a shit?
No,
he's talking about.
I know, but he just
get off my fucking microphone. Don't even answer that.
No, answer
question.
the question. No, everybody in the chat room wants to know. There's 100 people
what's
there.
His favorite music?
Yes.
The Godfather. What else?
No, tell him what's your favorite piece of music.
There's probably several. We're just getting ready to do a concert with Bocelli, and I think Bocelli is probably one of the greatest voices in the world.
Absolutely.
And the guy before him that I put together a concert one time in Raymond Patriarca's backyard with Pavarotti.
Pavarotti was wonderful.
Pavarotti came and sang in his home for him, and as a birthday gift.
And just to let you know how pervy our groups in here are, Don Hinton keeps saying, "Look at how big his hands are every time you stick your hand."
Dawn. Italian men are known for that, okay? Why do you think all the old broads go to Italy to get laid? They don't go to Ireland. They all go to Italy, and they want to get laid by Italians because Italians got, as we say, usazich.
And for all the I have a movie question, just because in general, because for me, like, we don't have like Superman movies like the Christopher Reeve movie like you were in. Like now Superman, Superman versus Batman, Superman gets killed, all these like terrible like things. They're not like wholesome superhero movies anymore. What do you think of that, like compared to being in like the Christopher Reeve movies? Do you watch any of the new ones coming out?
No, I think they're very dark. I think it's they've taken away. The sad part is that Superman was the first American superhero, and when we did 1 and 2, I mean, it was all about law and order. Superman didn't run around killing people. He put people in jail.
Right.
They followed the law, and I think that they've just gotten way away from the all-American way, and it gets darker and darker.
I was very angry that they changed the color of his costume.
Oh yeah, the whole thing.
Blue and red was American and so wonderful. Now he's in this dark black shit.
And the movies are dark.
Do you have an action?
We're looking to do. I have a script that I want to eventually get done. We want to bring, because of the technology that we have today, and your fan base will love this. We're going to do another Superman movie with Christopher Reeve, because the hologram technology works terrifically, and I can bring Christopher back on screen.
I love that.
I don't know about that.
I love it.
I don't know that
they did it with Tupac, where they did a video with Tupac.
Yeah, I know, but bringing him back, I don't know. That's kind of weird and spooky. I don't know how I would feel about that.
I would
watching that.
You saw it.
Wait, I have a question though, because is there an action figure for your character? Because I have the Gene Hackman and the Terrence Stamp. Was it Terrence Stamp?
Terrence Stamp.
I have like beautiful like 12-inch action figures from them that I found online for like a lot of money. Is there one of you someplace?
I believe they just made one a couple years ago. Yeah.
I have to look for that. All right, I'm gonna look for that. We should get you a Funko Pop with that too. I would love it. So you guys, you can follow Jack. You won't find him on Twitter as Jack O'Halloran. He's M Anastasia. It's MANASTASIA. His book is Family Legacy that we talked a lot about. You guys, I really like it. It was a great book, and
I cannot wait to read
it. And it really.
And like I said before, people send me books every day. I get 50 million books that they wrote that they want me to push. Half of them are such boring shit. But your book, I cannot wait to read. And listen,
I guarantee you won't find it boring.
Oh, I don't find you boring. Listen, O'Halloran, where'd that Irish come from? You're Italian.
My stepfather was, when my mother was married to Paul Halloran when she met Albert. And Paul was overseas as an Army Air Force navigator. And she was in Philadelphia. And
so he adopted you?
Who, Albert?
The Halloran guy, he had to adopt you, or you just took his name?
When I was born, they just put it on my birth certificate. I have 2 birth certificates, one Anastasia and one O'Halloran.
Okay, got it.
Oh, so you didn't change that for Hollywood. That was actually your name.
Well, I was raised under that name because Albert saw what was happening and knew what was coming. And he thought he was protecting me. And that's why he put a minder around me. And the guy taught me a lot of stuff, boy. And, you know, by the time when I met Albert, when I was right before he died, it was the first time I ever met him. And we were supposed to sit down a week or 2 later, and he got assassinated. But he left me like 256 pages of everything about him and what was about to happen. And he was a very intelligent man. He was and very intuitive. In The Godfather, when they went to Brando about getting in the drug business, and he said, if I touch it, my children will touch it, it'll be the downfall of the families. Albert said that. Albert did not want the drug business in America, and he didn't want it brought through his ports.
My father and my father's friends, if they thought you were a pusher, you were out. They wouldn't look at you. They wouldn't talk to you. They said, listen, you know, we don't do that. No.
Well, when Genovese put all that together in Sicily, when he was deported, and he put that together with Mussolini, the Italians that brought the heroin into America were called Zips. They weren't even allowed to be called Italians. They called them Zips.
You know, my cousin Maria, her name is Genovese, so be nice. Maria Genovese was married to somebody. But anyway, yeah. It's just all Hollywood. It's all bullshit. It's all make-believe. And when you live it,
have you seen the picture of The Irishman?
Yes.
I won't watch it because I don't like Robert.
It's all bullshit. I mean, I knew Frank Fallon very well. And he never killed Hoffa, and he never killed Joey Gallo. It's all Hollywood bullshit.
Gallo, oh my God, Gallo, oh my God.
We have like 2 minutes.
Another name, the Bananos. I mean, gee, these names are coming back.
So you guys go out and see all of Jack's stuff. For all of you guys who want to see like the cool, wholesome superhero movies, watch Superman 1 and 2. They're fabulous. Watch King Kong. Farewell, My Lovely. I don't think I've seen that, so I need to see that.
You'll like it.
And definitely want to get his book, and he's going to have a movie coming out sometime soon. And I want to actually talk about that a little bit later off the line. And
anyway, we have somebody pretty important interested in my Set the Record Straight show coming back, my TV show that was on for years. And if we do, I will contact you.
He's on Facebook.
And I definitely want you to be one of our guests on Set the Record Straight, because I know you have many records to set straight. And it will. It may be on like a Netflix, or what is it called? I don't know. It's going to be everywhere, but we'll see what happens. We're working with it. I don't know that. I have a busy life right now with this, and I act in movies and this show. And I'm writing, so taking on another project at 80 years old. You know what I'm talking about.
Jack, I'm so happy to
Jack,
see you.
you are.
It's been at least 10 years, I think, since I've actually talked to you.
It's been a while.
How come you never told me about him?
Huh? I don't know. I bought the action figures. I told you I knew the guy in the film.
Fuck action.
He likes the mob stuff. I like the movie stuff.
No. I don't like the mob stuff, and I don't like the movie stuff. What I like is the honesty. What I like is this guy is up front and out. This guy's no bullshit. This guy tells it like it is. That's what I like. I like people like him. No smoke and mirrors, no bullshit, no nonsense.
I'm going to read the book again, though, because now that I know, the first time I read it, I was thinking it was like fiction. And now that I know that 80% of it's true.
You met some of these people before they. No, you went to the hospital.
Yeah, I know.
You met a lot.
I met some of them.
He met some of these who were relatives of mine when they were passing away.
So we're going to have you back too. But everybody follow Jack. It's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much. And I'll be in touch, and I'll send you an email later.
Jack, what can I say? I've said it all. You are absolutely an earful. And what an interesting earful at that. You go on and have a great life. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we're going to stay in touch.
God bless. Take care.
Thanks, Jack. Bye-bye.
Take care, baby.
All right, that was awesome, you guys. So
what a show. Whoa. everyone listening, everyone should listen to this show because it's true. It's an earful. It's unbelievable.
It's the first show we've ever had in what, 9 or 10 years that you like were actually
Mesmerized.
And everybody in the chat room was saying, "Oh my God, look at Ron's face. He's actually like, he's totally like listening. He's in awe."
Because growing up, I was in the barbershop when Marilyn Monroe was murdered. And somebody came into the barbershop as I was getting a haircut saying, "Did you hear the news? Marilyn Monroe OD'd and died." And I thought to myself, even at that moment, oh, she did? Well, I don't know. Then the rumors started. Well, when I met Jane Russell years later, I became her best friend, and Jane filled me in. And then when my father knew people who knew people said the story. And then I would tell people that Marilyn, and they'd fight with me. They'd say, "Oh, you're crazy. She couldn't possibly be murdered. That's Marilyn Monroe." I said, "What are you, out of your mind? Anybody gets murdered. What? Napoleon, anybody. I mean, they don't care who you are. You do bad, you're going to get killed." And I've been fighting this argument forever. I've written about it on Facebook, about how the Kennedys were responsible for Monroe's death. And now this man comes forward with proof, bona fide proof. And all the stories are correct. Poor Marilyn. She was so stupid. She should have kept her mouth shut. She maybe would have still been around today. But you know what? If Marilyn Monroe was around today, she wouldn't be the legend that she is today, because she died 26 years old, beautiful and perfect.
Just now, okay.
Why are you on mute, you homo?
I because I unplugged the thing to try and get the camera to go.
Your brain. Meanwhile, that was
just make us blurry. Otherwise, Rebel, I don't know what. I mean, we didn't do anything.
No, blurry's good. I look 20. But anyway, that was a fascinating interview. That man is absolutely a talker and articulate. I mean, everything he said, I know what he said was precise. It wasn't made up. He wasn't bullshitting us. Amazing man. He's got to come back again. Definitely.
I don't know why we're blurry. So why would we be blurry all of a sudden?
Blurry's good.
Well, look at me. Not showing us.
No, but blurry's good. You don't see the bag sags and wrinkles on your face, Jimmy.
Rebel, put us back up so I can see what it looks like, because I can't see it. Oh, she's talking to us now.
I didn't take y'all down. Check your Ethernet cable.
It should be fine.
I keep telling Jimmy we need new equipment.
It has nothing to do with it.
You know what? He's got a gift certificate.
So it won't. So it won't show up. Like we don't have any video.
I can see you.
Huh?
I can see y'all.
The people can't see us. I'm looking on YouTube now, and there's just a big screen where there's no picture.
YouTube cut us off because of the subject matter of that interview.
No.
Maybe. We're in a
we're here. It says we're live in 9 minutes, Rebel. Like, I don't know what's
we're living in a communist world now, so we have to be careful of what we do.
Here, I'll refresh this and see.
I mean, really? I bet you YouTube cut us off.
No, they didn't cut us off, because everybody says they can still hear us.
Yeah, but they can't see us.
Ask the chat room if they can see you, because I can see you and hear you.
Can you guys see us or no? Oh, now I see us. I was gone for a while, though. Okay, good.
Jimmy, you've been gone for a long time.
Okay, so our next guest should be calling in.
I am so depleted of energy. Listening to Jack, I am not going to be crazy and funny with the next guest, and I have to be, because she's crazy and funny. Oh boy.
I don't know where she is. She should be here.
I can't breathe from that interview. That was profound.
Okay, everybody. So while I'm waiting for our next guest, you can watch the Jimmy STaRR Show live every Wednesday from 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 to 2 p.m. Pacific Time on our home station, W4CY Radio. We're also on K4HD Radio in LA, Jackalope Radio in St. Louis, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Audio Boom, Podomatic, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spreaker, Apple TV, Podbean, Spotify, and Pandora. And on television, you can see us on Comcast, Roku, Vimeo, and JSW TV. And
just to set the record straight, I was never in the mafia, and my father was never in the mafia. My father knew people who were in the mafia, just as I grew up with people who later became big, important people in the mafia. Mafia doesn't even exist, so we shouldn't use that word. It's called businessmen.
I don't know. I'm having trouble with YouTube. Keep talking, Rob.
Why are you having trouble? I look
I
good.
don't know, but
I look good in that
okay,
shot.
just keep talking.
Keep the blurry. I like the blurry.
I don't know what's happening. Like,
Leave
my
me
YouTube-
blurry. Make you clear, me
Anyway,
blurry.
talk.
I talk. What the fuck you think I'm doing? Masturbating? Of course I'm talking.
And I don't know why.
Oh,
our
I
guest
can't
isn't
take him
here.
anymore. I mean, being married to him is so stressful.
I gotta get back.
He gets so nervous so easily. He gets like Mary Nanny Pamby.
I don't like it when we
You get
can't
like Mary,
see.
the big fucking fairy when you get nervous. I mean, really, you get like a girl.
You're the one who yells about like if we have dead air. I don't want to have dead air. When
I
I'm
never
trying to
have
get used
dead
to
air.
Up.
I never have dead air. I mean, really, Mary, quite the fairy, contrary. You, anyway. That guest was really good. I don't know what you people out there think about it. Some people said he's full of crap. Some people said he was lying. Some people said it's the truth. Some people said, oh my God, I can't believe it. It's shocking stuff because he talked about very major people, names that we grew up with and that we know. Marilyn Monroe, my God, is an icon. And to think that they put a suppository in her, which we all knew, that killed her. It was sinful because Marilyn didn't deserve to die. She just deserved a beating or smacking around or something if they wanted to even do that, to shut her mouth and keep quiet. Somebody should have all along warned her that they're going to kill you, Marilyn, if you keep opening your trap and talking about Kennedy and the Cuban thing, with Cuba. So it's sad that we lost Marilyn. She could have given us a lot more pleasure in films of the future. But anyway, yeah, Jane was right. Jane Russell knew it all along. She had heard stories from people. But that was an interesting interview. Who's coming on now? What's her name? Who is she? I don't know her.
She's a singer. She's from New York. Her family was in vaudeville, I think.
Oh, vaudeville,
or something like that. I'm not sure exactly, but I'm not sure where she is. Hey, Paul, where's Rue?
She a singer?
She's saying that we're having problems with our internet, which I don't know why.
Because
we're hardwired in.
They don't like the they didn't like the subject matter.
That's not the internet.
They're trying to cut us off.
Is the wire plugged in?
I'm telling you, we have this bullshit now where there's no longer freedom of speech. We have to be careful of everything we say and write, because people are saying, if you say something we don't like, we're going to ban you forever. It's all over Facebook. It's all everybody's talking about, is this bullshit of judging and carrying on, and nobody's allowed here, nobody's allowed there, nobody's allowed to say this. You're knocking the lamp. I blew a bulb on my side. Do you have a replacement bulb? Well, it's got style. I got news for you. Working from home sucks. When we were in the studio, it was so much better because everything was professional. Now that we work from home, it's like, home movies.
Look at the chat thing there. Did she say that our guest is there? As soon as our guest is there,
look at the chat. I can't see a bloody thing. I'm blind. You know that.
No,
I see an
no one is in the green room.
Okay.
And for the chat room saying to put you on the small screen, the only time I can put them in the small screen if it's someone else is here, like this. If I pull out, they go back to a big screen.
Oh, good. I got my other light. Got rid of 20 wrinkles. Oof.
I'm hardwired in. I don't know why there's a problem.
I don't know why there's a problem. We need to get back in the studio when this shitting virus is gone. I hate this virus. This virus has really screwed up everyone in this world's lives. I mean, who if they say China did it, what demented mind went and made it up? How did they do it? Where did they get it from to even make it? Well, where did it come from? I think we should know where it came from, because we know everything else, supposedly. Why won't they tell us where it came from? What, it's going to cause a world war? We're in one right now. We're in a civil war. God, people have to be as honest as Jack was. People have to be honest. You shouldn't be afraid to speak your mind, everyone. This is America. We're allowed still to have freedom of the speech. You say what you like, whether it's pro-con, pro-Biden or against Biden or Trump pro, whatever. Even if you are a Trumper, you should have the right to say it without being persecuted. I don't like what's going on in this country, and I don't like people telling me keep my mouth shut because I would die first.
Your guest is here.
Okay, good.
I tell it like it is. Where's this girl? I thought
Bring her in.
I thought she was a comedian.
No, she's a singer.
Here.
Hey!
Oh my God! I was waiting for you to add me. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Look,
take
I
the
am never late
sunglasses.
for anything. You know
Good.
that, and
Take
for
the
you, I am. I'm
take
so
the
sorry.
sunglasses. Take the sunglasses off so we
off.
can see you real
I
quick.
can't see if I take my son. I can't
Good.
see anything.
You know what? I can't see either. But
All right.
you look beautiful.
Thank you.
The
I can't
glasses
see
you look
anything
like
without my glasses.
Yeah, but you look like a bug with the glasses, like
It's
a
okay,
beetle.
keep the blog if you want the glasses.
No. Let
it's her
everybody
show.
see her eyes. Look how beautiful she is.
Oh, you're
All right.
so
Oh,
nice.
look at her
I'm
now.
so sorry I was late. I don't
Look
even
at
tell
you.
what happened.
You have what do you have? Green eyes?
I do.
And you want to put those fucking sunglasses on? What are you
It's
nuts?
how I see. You see, I
Don't
can't
stay.
see.
Just sit there and look beautiful, please. I mean, look at those eyes. You're gonna cover those
So
eyes.
hold on, we gotta introduce her. All right, everybody. Now we want to welcome to the Jimmy Star Show with Ron Russell, the incredibly fabulous and talented singer, songwriter, web show host, illustrator, and actress ReW STaRR. Hello and welcome to the show.
Thank you so
Yay!
much. Thank you so much for having me.
We're so excited to have you. Let me introduce you to my cool, outrageous man about town co-host, Mr. Ron Russell.
Hey, Green
Ron.
eyes. How you
Hi.
doing?
And then we have a chat room full of people, so say hi to everybody in the chat room.
Hi, everyone. So
And
sorry.
you have to give us a specific shout out. I need one for Cindy Lady Lake.
Hello, Cindy Lady Lake. I love you.
I need one from Paul from Zest Radio.
Zest is my all-time best guardian angel of the world. Hello, Zest. I love you.
And then I need one for Eileen.
Eileen Shapiro, my new BFF. We're going to go to London together. We have
There
a
you
date.
go.
Oh,
To see Adam Ant.
Forget about it.
She's always chasing Adam Ant. She wants that dick so bad.
Forget
No,
it.
I
If you're
like Adam Ant,
if
actually.
So
you
does she.
if you're going to England with her,
Yes.
you're gonna come back a very wrinkled, dried out old lady.
Oh, I
Because
think
she's
it's
gonna
really
run
hard.
you night and day, night and day, night and day. You'll never sleep. You'll never eat. You'll be a vegetable. Don't go to
Sounds great.
London with her. She's
I would
crazy.
love it.
No, she's
Totally.
crazy. She's a
Yes.
crazy. Eileen is a crazy lady.
So I want to get the promotional stuff in real quick, and then we're going to talk about some other stuff, and then we'll recap the promotional stuff at the end of this whole thing. So first of all, you guys, if you want to follow ReW, she's at ReW STaRR, ReW STaRR, and that's her Twitter handle. What are you on Instagram?
Same thing.
Same thing. And ReW STaRR has a band called the Roulettes.
I do.
And with Zest
Good
Radio,
name. I
who's
like that.
with Zest Radio, with Paul in the who's in the chat room, they are releasing a cover of the Lulu song "To Sir with Love," and it's a cover music video, and it's going to be released on January 23rd, 2021. What time are we doing that? Do you remember?
Yeah, it's 12:30 New York time, so 3 hours earlier is your time, and 5 hours ahead.
It's later is the
No,
UK time.
we're 3 hours later.
No, we're earlier than her.
No, New York is ahead of us.
I know, so that means we're earlier.
How do you? Let's get this right. How do you figure that out?
If she's at 12:30, then it's 9:30 in the morning, us, which is earlier.
Oh,
That's how I figure it, and that means it's 5:30. And so, you guys, this is a very cool thing. Number one, the song is awesome. I've had the privilege of seeing the video and hearing the song, and it's really, really fantastic. All you guys are going to love it. Number two, the Roulettes and ReW STaRR have teamed up with Zest Radio, and they're doing a benefit for Feed the Children. So they're trying to get 10,000 plays on this music video, and they're going to donate 10 cents every play to Feed the Children. And this is a collaboration between Zest Radio and ReW STaRR and the Roulettes, which let me mention them real quick. I wrote their names down.
I love the name.
I have
the Roulettes.
Ann Hussick, Maya Lowe, Tammy Johnson, and ReW STaRR, and they're fabulous, you guys. And basically, the To Sir with Love is based on it's based on a scene in the 1967 movie To Sir with Love. And
what Petula Clark sang it?
Lulu.
No, Lulu.
Lulu sang it. Right, Lulu. Right, Lulu sang it.
Petula, like her letters have the same letters in her name, Petula. If you go backwards, it's like Lulu.
Right.
Oh, that's fun. I love that.
No, Petula Clark sang Downtown.
Yes, which is
And it
another
was-
great song.
It was out at the same time as To Sir With Love.
I love Downtown
It's that,
too.
yeah, that whole thing.
So tell us. So first of all, why'd you pick that song? I mean, it's really good. You guys have done an excellent job with it. Tell us, why did you pick To Sir With Love?
Well, it's a long story, and I'll try to tell you it as best I can. Zest is like I said, my superhero. He is definitely someone who has supported me in my work for many, many years. We became friendly through online and the internet. He even came and co-hosted my show, so I met him in person. And he asked me randomly, he knows I play music, and he said, would you ever consider doing a cover of To Sir With Love? And I was just like, are you kidding me? I have a brother that is my producer from heaven. I know he always produces my life. Like, he's the reason I'm talking to you guys, besides Zest. Zest is my producer on earth. And and my brother, his favorite movie in the whole wide world was To Sir With Love. And I have his, because he's up in there, I have a lot of his things. Like, I have his album, his record album of the movie soundtrack of To Sir With Love. And I said to Zest, like, I have the album. And he was just like, wow, that's amazing. I can't believe it. And I know my brother is up to me knowing Zest. I mean, he's like that. So one thing led to another. Fast forward a few years, the question was still in the works. And now I'm working with a record label in Baltimore called Monterey Records. And I rolled it by them saying, like, can I do a cover of To Sir With Love? Now, usually I always go to Baltimore by myself, and they're all musicians, and they always fill everything in. So I was in my mind thinking that's what we're going to do. But you see, because they're all musicians, they like to come to New York once a year and do a gig, which I put together. So they came up, and I was planning their visit to New York, and my band couldn't play that night. All my bandmates were like busy. So it was just like, fine, I'll just host that night. I won't play. It's fine. I don't care. Just let them have fun. And one of the bands playing Anne was in it. And she said, I'll play with you. What do you need? I'll play bass. I'll play second guitar, like whatever you want. And I'm just like, really? And then I know this drummer named Tammy who's filled in with me quite often. And I said, let me see what Tammy's up to. So I said, Tammy, can you do that day? And she's like, yeah. And then Maya, who is a good friend of mine, it's a whole crazy story. I for another time. Her and Tammy know each other, and Maya saw me play once. So after she saw me, she said, oh my God, I want to play with you one day. So I contacted Maya. I said, Tammy's doing a gig with me. Are you free this day? And she's like, I am. So the Roulettes were formed, and we just did this free gig. And the Baltimore label people were there, and he's seen me play in so many different concoctions. And he said, you're bringing this band to Baltimore. And it was like, oh my God, he loved us so much. So then we did a few more gigs, and then that was all. It all started in April 2019. We did like some gigs throughout the spring, and then we were planning to go to Baltimore that summer. We went the first week of August of 2019. We record this song, and everything was great. And then, of course, we had some of the other stuff happen too, but the good stuff outweighed it. We come back to New York, and then Zest was like, now we need a music video. I know the perfect director. So he got Christopher Martini, who is an amazing director. He's done a lot of documentaries, and he knew Jimmy King, who is Bowie's private photographer, and he wanted him to be the artistic director, and everything was just like wonderful. And Christopher said, I just can't do anything until after the year ends because I'm working. So January 2020, he and I finally meet in person, me and the director, and we plan this thing, and we're going to shoot it on March 21st. And then we know what happened. And
COVID.
Then it was going to be March 28th, and then it was going to be April, and then it was after the pandemic, and then that was not going to happen. So over the summer, he figured out a way. Now, meanwhile,
everybody to do their own part.
Yeah, because Maya now is living in Utah. Tammy is now in Georgia. Anne was upstate New York, and I was in New York City, and the director was in Washington, D.C. He got stuck there.
Now, were you raised on Long Island?
No, I was not raised on Long Island, but
you have a very definite New York accent.
I was born in the Bronx, but I never lived in the Bronx, and I live downtown, and I've been here for my whole life pretty much.
Right.
I've lived in other places too, but
Yeah.
this is my.
But it's so nice to hear a New York accent because I have one too.
Yay!
I'm a native New Yorker,
I've
Brooklyn.
watched your show.
Actually,
I know
she's
I'm a Brooklynite.
she's actually like, because she's like big deal in like the underground of New York and the whole music and art scene. She was Miss Underground New York City in 2017.
Wow, good for you.
She was dubbed the Firebrand by the New York Times, and they describe her as a cross between Courtney Love, which you won't know who that is from
I
Nirvana.
know. I love Courtney
Love from Nirvana.
Oh.
And the gothic version of Olivia Benson from Law and Order, which is actually
Court-
Marissa Hargitay.
I will never
Yeah.
forget Courtney Love's performance. She's a
in that movie, in that
she
Hustler
is
movie.
a great actress, Courtney Love.
But she's really a musician.
I don't give
Yeah.
a shit. Nobody understands that she can act better than half of the people in film. When
Yeah,
she
she's a great
played,
actress.
what's his name's dope addict wife, she was fabulous.
Yeah, in the Hustler movie.
The Hustler movie.
That was she was great.
Oh my God, I still can't get over that. I love Courtney Love. She's
I do
crazier than I am.
So you're the indie
but I
queen of
love
New.
her.
So you're basically like the indie queen of New York City.
Do you know Courtney?
I've never met her in person, but I've been in the same room with her numerous times. I know people that know her. I know her Rolfer. And
Her
I know-
Rolfer.
Yeah,
What's that?
yeah.
What does that mean?
Rolfer's a guy who does massage. A Rolf massage.
Oh,
exactly.
oh.
It's a girl Rolfer, but yeah, I know a lot of things more than I should about Courtney. I'm waiting for the day that we can get tea.
You
My
will.
daughter and I met her one night, but she wouldn't remember. But in her unplugged behind the scenes on MTV, my daughter's in it because the day we met her, they were shooting it all, and the clip with my daughter like shaking her hand got in the unplugged. So
Oh, how cool is that?
Yeah,
Is your,
it was
is your
really
daughter
cool.
a musician? Is your daughter a musician?
I have two daughters, and one is totally a musician. She's living in Nashville, and she's like beyond talented.
Wait a minute. Wait. Back it up. Halt. Stop. Do not go any further.
He's going to tell you that.
You have a daughter that's old enough
Two.
to live on her own
I
somewhere?
have two daughters that live on their own.
Well, how old are you?
I'm
You look
way
like a
older than
girl.
I act.
You look like a
So is
look,
he.
You look like a girl. You don't look like a
Oh,
woman.
mwah. You're so
No,
nice.
I'm not. I don't bullshit people. I thought you were.
I survived the 80s, my love.
I really thought that you were in your late 20s, early 30s.
Oh my gosh, that's how old my children are.
You're an old bag like me. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
She's not as old as you.
No, I'm
You never
80 years.
know. You'd be
Nobody's as old.
surprised.
I'm as old as dirt. I'm 80.
You're
Oh,
probably
wow.
closer to me. You're probably closer to me.
You look amazing. Any
Oh,
Any
thank
secrets you
you.
want to give out? Botox, Restylane, anything?
No, I don't believe in any of that.
I don't
truthfully.
believe in
I'm
that
afraid.
shit.
I wish I could get them, but I'm always like the person that gets the side effects. So I'm always afraid if I get the Botox, I'm going to end up like with the palsy. And so like,
No, listen.
so afraid
Wait.
of-
I have something to say that's very important. Somebody wrote on my Facebook page this morning that if you get the injection for the coronavirus, it can explode your lips if you have them injected, or your face, because the virus, the serum, the antivirus serum goes and attacks anything that's foreign in the body. So
Ah.
everybody with Botox and Restylane, their faces are going to explode.
Or like me, I have a plastic knee. I just had a knee replacement.
Well, could you imagine you have your lips blown up and then they do blow up? They
Oh
explode.
my gosh.
Isn't that scary? Now that might be just fake news. We don't know, but we should really research that and find out. Go
So
on.
you come from like an
Background.
entertainment family though, right?
Kind of, sort of. My grandmother was in vaudeville, and she sang with Jimmy Durante, and she did a lot of stuff.
What was
It
her name?
Her name was her name was Evelyn, but her real name was
Oh,
Esther River. Her Esther River.
stage-
We would always say, "Why did you change your name to Evelyn? Like, you had the coolest name, Esther River." And she was like, "I'll give you an Esther River." You know, like she hated that name. And she was born on the Lower East Side, actually, my grandmother. And my mother grew up like that with her mother in the theater. I have a lot of her pictures from then. She used to sing with her sisters, and they called themselves the Baker Sisters. I cannot find much about them, but I have a lot of their cut and press and photos. And my grandfather, her husband, was a scout for the New York Yankees at the time. and he was in the liquor business. So that was my mother's parents, and his mother, my great-great-grandmother, who I never met, had a speakeasy on the Lower East Side during Prohibition. And these are just stories that I know of. But you know, my Nana, the one that sang, though, she used to give me a lot of good, you know, advice when I started like songwriting and doing that stuff. Like, you know, when I was many years ago, she used to always say to me, don't get cocky, you know, like never get cocky and never be mean to anybody. Always keep your feet on the ground and always be nice to everyone who likes you, because you never know. And
You never shut a door.
she always would say that. And she also always would say, don't only do original songs. You know, you think you're so good writing original songs, you have to cover other people's material, because the only way you're going to get good is by covering people that have already done it.
So what's one of your favorite cover songs? Besides To Sir With Love. Okay, besides that, give us another one.
I do Rebel Rebel by Bowie.
Oh, that's a good one.
I do a good Rebel Rebel. I have to say, I love playing that song. It's so much fun.
So who are your like influences? Like who are like growing up, who are the people that you like listen to?
Well, you see, I'm like more of like someone of lyrics. Like I like every genre. And it's more to me like if a song is talking straight at me, then I can connect to the song. Like, you know, I like a lot of songs that don't get on the radio from artists when we used to listen to songs. I mean, I like rappers that can write really well. I like oldies. I love R&B. R&B has always influenced me a lot.
Yeah, I listen to that a lot.
I love R&B. I love Marvin Gaye.
So who are some of the singers who've done songs that like have appealed to you, like that you think speak to you? Like give me an example of a song.
Well, I'll tell you, Courtney Love has this one song that I love so much. And the day that we met her and I said, can you do that song? She was like, I'm not doing that one. Like, sometimes it's not the songs that the artist even likes. There's a song that I loved of hers on her American Sweetheart album. I love certain songs on her albums, but like not every song, but I do appreciate her and respect her. I love Diana Ross. I love my daughter's songs.
Give us your daughter's name so everybody can go look it up who listens.
Her name is Eva Lynn, and it's EVALIN. And the funny thing she always says is it's also like a porn star from Thailand's name is Eva Lynn. She's not that one. She's the other Eva.
So you guys look up Eva Lynn, but not the porn star one.
Yeah, exactly. That's her joke. But she's so talented. And my other daughter, Harley, she is behind the camera. She's made music videos for me. She's made me 2, and we're in the process of making a 3rd. So she's in New York, so I get to see her during this crazy time. And she does, you know, a lot of stuff like that for me.
Then now you live in the Village?
I do.
You like the Village?
I love it. I love it so much.
It's not the Village anymore. You should have lived in the Village in 1950.
Well, I wasn't here in
born.
The 50s.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying if you think the Village is cool now, no,
I don't. I don't
way,
think
baby.
It's cool now.
It got commercial.
It's wounded right now. Everything is closed. Every business is closed.
No, I don't mean that. I mean with the population. The people that move to the Village now all are wealthy. They have maids. They work with governesses. When I know the Village back in the beatnik days, it was cool. Everybody was an artist of
like
some
you.
Kind. Yeah, you would have been like probably you're the queen now of the Village, but I think back then you would have been the super queen of the Village.
Let's have a renaissance.
No, wait. No one could hang out in the Village if they weren't cool. If you were a geek or a square, they wouldn't even talk to you. The
Get
Village.
Out of here. Yeah, when I was little, I used to beg my mom to take me to find the hippies. I used to like have this hippie fascination. I'd be like, Mommy, please take me to see the hippies. And she would take me like to Washington Square and stuff, and I wouldn't see any. And then I'd be like, where are they? And she'd say, I don't think they come out during the day. And that was all I needed to hear. She like planted that seed. So as soon as I could start going out at night.
Greenwich Village was gay in the 60s, and the world wasn't. It was gay, but you're not allowed. So all us gay guys would go to the gay bars in the Village, and they were wonderful gay bars. We had the best time and the best fun. Today, things have changed.
It's not the same.
No. I'm happy I was born when I was born, and I'm happy I lived in the years that I did.
So you guys, Other things too. So Ruth's been in a bunch of independent films. She's an illustrator, and if you
Wait.
go on
Time out.
Timeout,
You know Afonso Enrique?
yeah, very well.
I was in his film.
Oh, cool.
Yes,
That's
and I know
awesome.
he loves you guys. He just was so happy that I was going to meet you guys today. He was like, "Oh my god!" I know.
Yeah, that's and what's the name? What movie are you in of
I
his?
was in his film called Finders Keepers, and my little dog. I have a little dog named Jaja Gabon.
Jaja Gabon.
I love
Yes.
your names. First of all, I love
know.
roulette.
Show her.
No, I love roulette, and now Jaja Gabons I love.
Jaja
And this
Gabon. She's
This
is
our
Astro.
baby.
That's
This is
Astro.
Astro boy.
She's in the movie too. She kills it. She's in a lot of movies with me, and we're in a lot of people's music videos too. Me and Jaja. She's my
I love it.
sidekick.
What kind of dog is it? What kind of dog is she?
She's a Yorkie.
Oh,
but,
that's so
but
cute.
she's very voluptuous, you know. Her name is Jaja Gabon. I mean, come
I
on.
love
like,
it. Jaja Gabon. Our dog is on TV all the time. He comes up here to sit with me every
Yes.
week on our
I
show.
love it. So then you guys, if you follow Rue on her Instagram account, she does all these cool illustrations. She's done like one a day, right? You did or something for the whole COVID thing.
Yeah, it just happened. I never planned on doing this. It just happened. I had my niece who's 10 for a weekend from March 13th to March 15th that weekend. And we were drawing on Sunday, the day I was bringing her back to her mom. And she was doing these drawings and she wasn't finishing them. And I was just like, why are you doing that? You're like wasting paper. So I was like, can I finish your drawings? And she's like, yeah. So I start finishing hers. And then I drew my own picture and I posted it. I was so proud of it. And someone wrote me right away, like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you drew. Can you draw something for me? And I was just like, I never like drew something for someone else, but I'll try. And I did it. And then the next day, someone asked me to draw something else. And that was when it all hit. The pandemic began. So I just said, if anyone has a suggestion while it's pandemic, I'll draw. And I kept getting suggestions. And from that day, I have drawn a drawing a day, all from everyone's suggestions.
Now you have to put them in a book. You put them together in a book.
I hope as soon as this chapter is over, then I will decide. I hope I can do that. But today was day 302.
There you go. Oh my gosh, that's a whole bunch of them. All right, so listen up because we've got 3 minutes. So first of all, you guys, this is ReW STaRR. The name of her band is the Roulettes. You want to follow her on Twitter at ReW STaRR. She's also on Instagram. You also want to follow Zest Radio Show on Twitter, Paul from Zest Radio, and it's at ZESTRADIOSHOW. On the 23rd of January at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time, they are releasing the music video on YouTube to Sir with Love. All you have to do is go on YouTube, plug in the Roulettes and To Sir with Love, and it's all set up as a premiere, so you guys can go and make sure you sign up for the reminder, so when it goes off, because we want to get 10,000 plays, they're going to donate 10 cents every play, up to 10,000 plays to feed the children. It's an awesome idea. It's an awesome charity. It's an awesome way that you, the Roulettes, and Paul are all giving back. So I want to commend you on all that. I think it's fabulous. I think everybody needs to know about you because you're super talented and fun
and beautiful. Those eyes, I love them.
You guys are the nicest.
Those green eyes, my God.
Oh, and Dawn Hinton says thank you for her drawing because I guess she must have did one.
Yes, she asked for one. It's posting tomorrow.
Oh, there it's posting tomorrow. There you go. And everybody, so we want everybody to watch the video. We want it to make a big splash, and it supports a great cause, and it supports a great band. Really, a great band.
I love the name, Rue and the Roulettes.
Thank you so much.
And I love Jaja Gabon. I mean, you should really get hired to write names for people. You know, people have things and they never
hire me.
No, really. No, I'm good at names. I mean, I can call you all kinds of names. Trust me. But
it's fabulous. We love it. So you guys follow her. She's fabulous. Support the single. Support the band. Support her artwork. She's got a show. You got like 30 seconds. Are you still doing the show?
I am doing it renegade style right now during the pandemic. It's Ruin Who Renegade Ruin Who, and we do it pretty much weekly. We change the day every week because it's renegade, and Lots of musicians come on, do a song. Our next show is Thursday night, and it gives everyone an outlet to perform, say a poem, share your aura, a joke, a smile, whatever you want. Lots of musicians, lots of artists come by and share the love of passion.
There you go. So we want to thank everybody. This is ReW STaRR. She is the queen of New York City underground nightlife. She's fabulous. We love her. And we want to thank everybody for tuning in today. We had a great show. We want to thank both our guests.
What happened to Susie Brown? Downtown with Susie Brown?
Julie Brown.
Julie Brown. She's mainstream. She's not underground. She's like on MTV.
No, but what happened to Downtown with Julie Brown?
She's still around.
She did some acting, actually.
Is she still around?
I think she's on Sirius Radio now.
Oh, good.
Yeah, probably.
I met her years ago. She was really nice.
Anyway,
Nice.
we've got to go.
I saw her in a movie or something.
ReW STaRR, thank you so much. Love you, Paul. Thank you, everybody in the chat room. Thanks so much. We had a great show. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you so much for having me.
It was our
Bye.
pleasure, honey. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
See you soon. We'll see you in New York. Yes.
Oh, yeah, we will.
What
see
an
you in New York.
interesting show today.
Yes,
mean,
absolutely.
Really.
So, everybody, thanks so much. We're out of time, so we got to go. But we'll see you guys next week. Have a great weekend. Bye, everybody.
Stay safe, stay happy, stay with us.
Can turn out to be so wrong. Yeah, we in the mix. Yeah, we in the mix. It's another episode. Here we go. The Jimmy STaRR Show with Ron Russell. Interviewing the hottest, newest, and truest of today's celebrities. Make sure to subscribe so you can get notified weekly. Jimmy STaRR, he's the king of cool. Ron Russell, he's a gorgeous dude. Chat room is live and you would be a fool not to vibe with us at the Jimmy STaRR Show with Ron Russell. Come watch it live on W4CY Radio. Miss some past episodes? Download on iTunes. The Jimmy STaRR Show with Ron Russell. It's the Jimmy STaRR Show with Ron Russell.